Self-sabotage is a protection mechanism. All of these moments as little kids are big moments. We don't have the ability to process those big feelings of being inadequate, being unlovable, in some cases terror. So without the ability to process that, what are we going to do? Put it down, push it down, numb it out. So as little children, our brain starts to develop these protection mechanisms with the division, with the environment, with AI, with everything that's happening in the world. We have to be spiritually fit. 1 minute, 4 steps once a day. That's it.
For nearly 2 decades, Gabby Bernstein has been transforming lives, including her own. She's a #1 New York Times bestselling author and has penned 11 books. Gabby has been featured everywhere on major media, from Good Morning America to The Today Show. And in her weekly podcast, Dear Gabby, she offers up real-time coaching, straight talk, and conversations about personal growth and spirituality. For so many of us, we have aspirations of change and to accomplish certain things in our lives. But many of us experience self-sabotage. All right. We have goals and things that we want to achieve, and we know how to get there practically, the things we're, quote, supposed to do, but we find a way to sabotage our progress. Why do we do that? Why do we self-sabotage our results?
Self-sabotage, Shawn, is a protection mechanism. It's a protector part of us. We have inner desires. We all have big desires to create, to achieve, to manifest, to attract. And we sometimes will take action on those desires, oftentimes take action on those desires, and then very often just cut ourselves off at the knees and completely sabotage. Why? Because there's deep-rooted beliefs inside of all of us, and many people have beliefs like, it's too good to be true, or I'm not worthy, or who am I to? And those core beliefs are the deep-rooted feelings that are the feelings that we often want to mask, and self-sabotage is the way of masking that. So we'll self-sabotage to protect against those deeper exiled feelings.
Yeah. You talk about the protector.
Yeah.
Right? And these protective mechanisms we develop, and so many of us have this. I would imagine pretty much everyone of us have these. And we have a manager within ourselves, and we also have the firefighter that you talk about as well. Can you talk a little bit about those?
So you're referencing the latest work of my new book, Self-Help, which is based on a therapy called internal family systems therapy, otherwise known as IFS. And what I've done is really demystify and democratize this therapy through a self-help tool. But to explain these different parts, they're IFS terms. So we have these protection mechanisms that I think everybody listening could imagine, okay, I know I'm a people pleaser at times, or I know I can be really controlling, or I know I can have rage in these certain moments, or when my wife says X, I flip out, or we know those reactive trigger points, and we know the behaviors and beliefs that block us and are kind of extreme. In IFS, it's about recognizing these behaviors and beliefs as protection mechanisms, not just bad habits or behaviors. So for example, I'm sober now 20 years right now. So just turning sober 20 years. And in my recovery now, I can look back and say, oh, that cocaine addict part that was 25 years old using drugs, that wasn't a bad part of me. That was a protection mechanism. I was doing drugs to numb out the impermissible trauma feelings from my childhood. So the cocaine addict is what we would call a firefighter. It's the put out the flames, do whatever it takes to put out the flames of those deeper feelings. The managers are also protection mechanisms, protectors, but they're the day-to-day protectors, right? Maybe controlling or people-pleasing or workaholism or numbing out with YouTube or going to the fridge to eat. Those can be practices or patterns or beliefs that we carry that are typically with us on a day-to-day basis, where we're just sort of like, oh, I am right? I'm a people pleaser. I'm a control freak. But the really extreme parts are the firefighters, the addicts, the suicidal ideation. That's the firefighters. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And of course, you walk us through how do we address this?
Yes.
And we'll get to some of that in a bit. But one of the things that you shared also is that we find it hard to give up the fear we've grown dependent on. So a lot of this is due to fear.
That's right.
We self-soothe. We find this way to protect ourselves. And a lot of it is based around fear, if not all of it.
Yes.
And so can you talk a little bit more about that? Why do we find it hard to give up fear that we've grown to depend on?
Well, we all had difficult experiences as children, no matter whether it's big T trauma or small T trauma. We all experienced it. Maybe it was alcoholic parent and that was a big T trauma, or maybe it was something that seems less significant, like maybe being bullied on the playground or a teacher telling you you're stupid. All of these moments as little kids are big moments because in those moments, we don't have the ability to process those big feelings of being inadequate, being unlovable, in some cases, terror or shame. And so we don't have the ability to process that. And so without the ability to process that, what are we going to do? Put it down, push it down, numb it out. So as little children, we start learning, we're really wise. Our brain starts to develop these protection mechanisms to numb out that feeling of being inadequate or unlovable and say, no, thank you, never want to feel that again. And so what do? If we were not loved or not attached with our parent, we're going to do everything we can to get attachment, right? We're going to people please. We're going to override ourselves. If our life felt out of control, that was my experience, things feel out of control, we're going to do whatever it takes to control. Why did I need to control? Because if I'm in control, I don't have to feel the fear. If you're that people pleaser because you didn't have that love or that attention, you're doing the people pleasing, so you don't have to feel the feelings of being inadequate and unlovable. So these protection mechanisms are protecting us from very young exiled parts of ourselves that we just don't want to face.
Yeah. I think we unconsciously give so much purpose to that.
We do. We unconsciously are living in a state of protection all the time, braced at all times. So those folks out there that haven't done any personal development work are likely living in this braced state that in any given moment, something could trigger you and boom, you're going to pop off and this is going to happen. And of course, those folks with more of these big T experiences as children may have more extreme protectors, but we all have protectors.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that you said, and again, when I read this, I was like, why? What? Like, whatever. Like, if you were to tell me this, I would be resistant to it. You said that we're resistant to being happy, many of us.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we consciously like, I want to be happy. What do you mean? I want to be healthy. I want to achieve this weight loss. I want to have this great relationship. But when you broke down why it is, like, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. Well, we think that the happy is the relationship or the weight loss or the job or the abundance or the cash in the bank. We think that's the happy. But the resistance to being happy is the resistance to doing the deep inner work that's required for us to allow the presence of joy to be revealed naturally. We are at our core joyful, healthy, loving, spiritual, just inspired beings. That's who we are. That energy is what in IFS we call self. That's why the book is called Self-Help. Self is the presence of calm, connection, compassion, clarity, creativity. It's who you are in this moment with me. You're not worried about tomorrow or later. You're with me. That's your self energy. But the majority of the time, folks who haven't done enough deeper inner work are blocking that self. And that's that true joy, that true happiness. And so we're resisting that happiness because we are protecting and protecting and protecting in this hypervigilant state of trying to brace ourselves to not have to feel those deeper feelings that are underneath.
Yeah. When it comes to us dealing with all this stuff, I think a big part of the struggle is because we feel like it's all on us. I have to figure this out. I have to do this work. And one of my favorite quotes from you is, the presence of fear is a sure sign that you are trusting in your own strength. Talk about that.
I love that you're bouncing from book to book. This is awesome. This is good because you're like, this is from this book and now I'm pulling from this book. You're reading both the books at the same time. I can tell right now. The presence of fear is a sign that you're relying on your own strength. So self-help, this book is a detour in a bit for me because it's about a therapeutic process. Most of my books are very spiritual, all spiritual self-help books and rooted in spirituality. And so what I mean when I say that the presence of fear is a sign that we're relying on our own strength, what that means is that when we are in that state of separation, fear, self-attack, judgment, attack of others, any form of resistance, we are out of alignment with our spiritual nature. We're out of alignment with a sense of certainty, connection to the universe, connection to the divine, connection to a higher power of our own understanding. That presence of that spiritual connection is unique to everybody. Everybody can decide what that is for them. But that is the true source. That connection is the true source of that state of self inside. And so when we're in fear, it's a sign that we're out of alignment with that source. Period.
How do we clear the static on the line?
Yes. Okay. So everything I've done throughout I've written 11 books. Every single one of these books are designed to get out of the static that's misaligning us from that core truth. In the case of The Universe Has Your Back, which you have right here, that book has a lot of spiritual practices of spiritual surrender through prayer, practices of learning it's called Transform Fear to Faith is the subtitle. Mm-hmm. And it's really about strengthening a faith of your own understanding. In the case of this book, Self-Help, that is about really actually starting to rely on your own inner healer, which is also equivalent to the presence of your spiritual truth. And that inner healer is the self inside. And there's a 4-step practice in that book, which is designed to really help you be in relationship with these protectors. Mm-hmm. So the fear is the impetus to make that protector start protecting. Yeah. And you don't want to go straight to the fear. But you can start to create a relationship with the protector. So you can become curious about it. You can check in with it. You can be compassionate towards it. You can start dialoguing with these protection mechanisms as if they were inner children inside of you. So I'll give you an example. I had the controller. The controller has been with me for many years. She's doing pretty good though right now. She's actually pretty relaxed. But the controller was really controlling. And she was running the show and just kind of just creating chaos and making people crazy and not trusting in others, really. Trusting in God and the universe, but not trusting people. And why? Because I was a child of trauma, because I grew up without the right attachment bonds. Of course, I was going to feel the protection mechanism of I've got to control everything because nothing was in control. So the more that I started to connect to that part of me, the more it became unburdened. And so how did I do it? I'd notice in those moments when I'd have the need to start controlling, maybe it's a work-related thing or a relationship-related thing. And when I had enough awareness of the stimulus, of the need to control, mm-hmm. I would separate myself from it. And or even if after the fact, maybe I'd be controlling like crazy and later I'd check in with it. And I would follow these 4 steps, which is this self-help practice based on IFS. And this is what I've designed. The first step is to choose to check in with the control, in this case, the protection mechanism, or whatever your protector is. Choose to check in. So I'd focus my attention inward. And then the second step was to become curious about it. So I would start asking questions inside. Where do I feel that in my body? And it would always be in my jaw or my chest. And I'd start describing it. It feels tight. It feels red, just noticing what's happening on the inside. And then I'd ask more questions. What do I know about this? Is there any thoughts or feelings or sensations attached to it? And so as soon as I started to feel a little bit of a connection to the part of me, feeling it inside or hearing its messages towards me, the third step was to compassionately connect to it. And that's when I would say, what do you need? And those 3 words, what do you need, is the greatest gift you could offer these parts of yourself, because these parts of us are like little kids inside and they need to be seen. They need to be heard. They need compassion. And so then I'd let that part of me speak up, and I'd usually say, I need to rest, or I need to speak up for myself, or I need boundaries. And then the 4th step is to check for self. So check and see if you've connected to self. Do you feel calm? Do you feel more compassionate? Do you feel more connected? Do you have some clarity? Do you feel a little bit of creative energy? Do you feel a little bit of compassion towards yourself? And if you even feel a molecule of any one of those C qualities, you've done the job. You've done the work. Mm-hmm. Your self is showing up.
My question is, how do we know when to check in? Because I think that's one of the big barriers. It's just like we're busy. We got stuff going on, and we're just in reaction all the time.
Right. we are in reaction all the time. So the way that we know to check in is to begin by recognizing the protectors. So everyone watching or listening can ask themselves, what are the extreme behaviors or beliefs that I'm often mad about, right? So, I did that again. Or I don't know what just came over me. Something just came over me. That's a big one. Those beliefs and patterns and behaviors are the protectors. And so starting to name them, call them by their name. Do you know of any protectors that you might have that are up for you on a regular basis? These patterns are like, oh, where did that come from? How'd that happen again? Maybe you don't want to talk about it here, but.
Let me think about it. There's a part of me that wants to stand up for what's right, to stand up to the bully, to protect other people.
To protect, yeah. Look at the word, right? How long has that part of you been around?
Ever since I was a kid.
That's right.
Sure.
As long as you can remember, right?
Yeah.
And
I wanted to protect my mom.
There you go. So that's a very big protector. That's a big one. And I'm sure it shows up less and less now because you're a man that has done a lot of personal development work and you have a lot of probably coping mechanisms to self-soothe in moments and things. And so you have more self-awareness. But what if you could protect and care for others and make sure people don't get hurt and stand up, but in a less extreme way? What if you could speak up instead of fist up or whatever? I'm not, whatever that might be, right? Because that's a beautiful quality. These parts of us, these protection mechanisms that we often shame and blame are actually extraordinary parts of us, right? My controller part wrote 11 books in 14 years. Like, she's serving souls. She's done a great job, but now she can do it in a less extreme way. So Shawn, you and I have known each other for a long time, but if you had met me 6-7 years ago, you'd be meeting a different version of me. Because the me you would have met then, you might have left the room being like, she's super cool, she's super nice, she's definitely connected to the work she's doing, but she feels a little hypervigilant, or she feels a little bit like wiry or something, And that's because I've just been healing these parts and healing these parts. And it's not like I made those controller parts go away. It's not like I'm letting go completely. I still run a business. I still run a family, but it's not in a burdened way. I'm not in an extreme way.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
Yeah. I could see that. Thank you for saying that, because these protectors and these parts of us, there's beauty to them.
100%.
And I could see where that part of me, I can hurt myself trying to protect others.
Absolutely.
And then I might not be around to protect them.
You could get yourself into a lot of trouble. Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is that protector part is probably something that is so beautiful to your wife and to the people around you. And they see you as this like carer. And I feel that, barely knowing you just for a little time in Mexico and here, that caring nature and that nurturing. And at the same time, it can be extreme. Right. So you have to give it both sides.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This is so awesome. Thank you for this. So, the bottom line is we've got to do our own internal investigation.
Yes, sir. We really do. Yes.
And why are we putting this off? Again, like, we're so externally focused.
All right,
we're doing all this stuff.
Yeah. Right, ready. So let me hold up these two books. Ready? This is the why. So you have this book right here, and it says the universe has your back. And it's like, transform fear into faith. And then this one is self-help in big red letters. You're in the bookstore. Which book are you picking up? In the comments below, tell me which book you're picking up.
Yeah. Do you want me to answer?
You might be different than the rest of the world. Let's ask these guys. What are you going to pick up?
I love self-help, so I'm going.
Oh, bad audience!
Yeah, the universe has
your back is likely the book.
Absolutely.
And it's not that your viewers are not the exact typical demographic, because they're out there, they're doing all this incredible work on themselves. They need to be like, I'm going to step up. But it's unlikely that people are going to even want to sit at a beach with this book in their hands. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? No, I don't want to do that. So they want the universe to have their back, right? Or my book, Super Attractor, manifesting. That's what they want. And so this feels like work, but there's a reason I put these big red letters on the page, because this is, and also the subtitle, this is your chance to change your life. This is not a small thing. It's a requirement, but it doesn't have to be heavy. It can be 1 minute, 4 steps every day, once a day. Of course, if you do more, the better the muscle is built. But you want to start working out, you want to start hitting the gym. It's not going to start, you're not going to be completely out of shape and go to the gym tomorrow. You're going to start by maybe walking 5,000 steps, and maybe you did 10,000 steps. And then maybe you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to start lifting 5 pounds. Or I'm just thinking about women more than men, but like, or men, or somebody that's just starting out for the first time. My son's nanny, she's middle-aged. She really wants to start to get into shape. And I looked at her and I was like, listen, here's a weighted vest. It's 5 pounds. Here's 3-pound weights. I sent her off. I was like, get out of here. I'm like, just start cleaning your house with the 5-pound weights and lifting the 3 pounds when you're wearing the 3 pounds when you're walking. Like, even if you're going for a 5-minute walk, I'm like, just start there. And the same thing goes for self-help. 1 minute, 4 steps once a day. That's it.
I love
but
that.
It's terrifying for people.
Of course. Yeah.
Like,
The
I don't
easy
want to do
on-ramp.
self-help.
You
Maybe
said
this
it.
guy, but not everybody else.
It's just, it is, I think, again, where you are, what you're going to be drawn to, but the universe having your back feels a lot more, a lot easier.
Well, it's also because people think like, it feels easier, but they also think like, when I get that thing, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. It's when I've done the inner work to feel good inside, whatever I desire starts to come into me and forms far greater than I could ever imagine.
Yeah. The universe has your back. For me, that is a call to remember.
Yes.
Right? And you give so much and so many insights on helping us to remember.
Yeah.
And really rekindling that seemingly lost connection that was never lost.
That's right.
With that said, again, you still have to do the work.
There's still work there.
Because it's so easy to forget.
Yep.
It might be easier than ever to forget because we're so externally focused.
That's right.
And so with that being said, one of my favorite parts of that book is when you talk about, and this is a direct quote, synchronicity, guidance, healing, and abundance are available to us all the time.
That's right.
Let me tell you this, that first word, synchronicity, is so powerful. It just reminds me that I am in the magic, I'm in the flow. When I read this sentence, this was the day after I was speaking on stage at an event in Atlanta, and I quoted St. Francis of Assisi.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then I opened your book the next
right
day,
there.
and you have a quote from St. Francis of Assisi, and that message right there about synchronicity.
That's right.
My eyes started watering.
Yeah.
I started tearing up.
Well, I've got so many chills. That's your spirit guides. Let's go there. That's your guides. We all have angels and spirit guides working on our behalf. Your audience now might be like, good night. Okay. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. You can call it energetic presence. You can call it the universe. I don't care. But what I believe in my spiritual faith is that, and it's not even a faith, it's a knowing. It's a knowing. It's a connection. It's a hearing. I have clear essence, clear audience. I could hear, clear sentience. And that knowing is that we have these divine guides, spiritual, whether it's grandma, whether it's maybe an energy that you've been with in past lives. Again, I believe all and I know all of this. These energies are always working on our behalf to guide us in the right direction. When we pray or when we set intentions, we're sending out a message to the universe, but also to these guides saying, I need help. Even just saying things like, it has to be a better way. Or is this it? I want to change. Those are invisible doors that we open. And when we open those doors, that's when the presence of this guidance starts to come into our life. And for those moments when you have that, you're speaking on behalf of the divine, when you're speaking a prayer or message from St. Francis of Assisi, that's saying to the universe, hey, I'm awake. I'm paying attention. Okay, well, what are your guides going to give you? They're going to say, open Gabby's book today. Right to that page. Those are signs and winks from the universe, from your guides, that you are divinely guided, that you are divinely protected, that you are always being led, that synchronicity is your birthright, that joy is your birthright, that your spiritual essence is who you are. Period. End of story. Done.
Yeah. My logical brain, even in those moments, is like, what is this, like 1 in 100 million chance that I would quote this particular saint and then read it in your book? It's just like, these are impossible odds. This was for me. It was a moment for me to remember.
Well, I think that my mission particularly right now, is much, much more elevated in this time. And my mission is to teach people that these are actually regular situations, that this is actually how it is supposed to be, that synchronicity and miracles are natural, and that when they're not happening, that there's something that's gone wrong, that we're blocking them. And so we're always in awe of these moments of synchronicity, but that's crazy. Those moments of synchronicity are how it's supposed to be all the time. Yeah. We're just a population, a global population of people who have made many wrong-minded choices. And those wrong-minded choices have led us into very dark corners and lots of protectors and negative energy and negative beliefs that have created separation, attack, war, judgment, all of the issues that we have in this lifetime. All of the issues are based on that core separation from the truth of who we are. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Religious separations, racial separations, all of these, this is all separateness. Imagine if every human was walking around believing in their divine guidance, divine wisdom, and synchronicity. It wouldn't matter where you were born and what circumstances you were born into, whether it was in poverty or whether it was in wealth, you'd still be walking around with an energy of appreciation, of gratitude, of acceptance, of allowing, of surrender, of connectedness. Think about how different your life would be if these energies were what were leading us as a collective.
One of the things you keep leaning into is the practice, is the work.
It's the whole thing.
And one of the things that I've done recently is I have a journal where I keep those synchronicities.
Yes.
Right? Because again, even some of the best of us who are aware of this and kind of just stay tapped in, stay connected, we can forget. And we start to live through our own limited power. And having this journal where, again, I document these magical moments and I can go back to and remember instantaneously. And I made it a practice to keep on, again, every week I'm putting something new.
Are you talking to your dad?
No.
Okay. So I'm a channel, and I don't want to totally derail this conversation, but he is knocking on the door right here, right now. He is, I don't know if you see my hand, it kind of goes numb and he is in this room. He is banging on the door. He is guiding you to those moments. He is with you. And he's like, Shawn, we got to talk, bro. He's like, we need to get it going. This is a new relationship. He's very direct. He's like, this is a new relationship. We need to do it this way now. He's really directing you. He needs to, do you mind that I'm going there? I did not ask your permission. Okay. He needs to let you know right now that he wants to and has to be in your life in a big, big way. Okay. He shows me family, but he's also showing me career. He's like, whoosh, he's like big skyrocketing. He wants to be on your board of advisors. Was he like that in this lifetime? Really
no, but
directive?
Board of advisors is something that I think about every day.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like a practice I have where I create a mental board of advisors.
Okay, so this is your spiritual board of advisors, and he is like, I'm at the head of the table. He wants to deeply be in the internal direction, he's showing me. So in the internal direction of the next right action. And I start talking a little fast when I channel, but he's showing me like the speedy things are really picking up. And you're gonna need that guide, that board of directors to say, hey, Dad, what about that choice? What about that choice? Is this the right move? And you're gonna get a clear yes and a clear no. He's telling me that those synchronicities, those that you're writing down, that's him. It's him. That's how he speaks to you. He's coming in hot, man. And it was hard to deny. I'm sorry. Normally I can shut it off, but it's like everything is just like blowing at you. He's also like sometimes maybe even connecting to one of your sons too, like working through one of the boys. Yeah, this is a very, very, very strong message for you. So just take that he wants to be on your board of advisors. He wants to be consulting in the choices that you make, and that he wants you to know that he's super proud of you, and that there's so much. He's like, it's really cool here. And that there's so much divine order and direction that you could be tapping into with his support that's going to take everything that you're doing to the next level. And that you are here in the service of humankind. And he really wants to be here to hold your hand as you do that work.
Thank you, Gabby.
Yeah. He's so loud. He's coming in.
When he passed, and I didn't know at the time, everything slowed down. Everything slowed down and became overwhelming. And I can't recall ever experiencing overwhelm as an adult, in this lifetime. And for a year, everything slowed down. And I know that things are going to pick up and become this kind of quicker pace towards something very special.
Yes.
And I've been apprehensive, like I'm uncertain about it because of like everything that happened and how everything slowed down and became overwhelming. And so this is very helpful for me right now because I know I can feel it. And I'm going to be different. My life is going to be different and it's going to be beautiful, but I just don't want to feel that overwhelm again.
Well, remember what I said, and this was the quote that you pulled out, that the presence of fear is a sign that you're relying on your own strength. That you're thinking you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
He's coming in hot right now saying, you don't have to figure this out alone. You have your board of advisors. You can go at this pace that's going to be methodical and thoughtful and inspired. And it was very important for everything to hit at the same time because it was a breakdown to break through. It had to almost be leveling out for this next level of your life and your career. Leveling out for the next level. They don't always come in that hard, but he was right.
Thank you.
I'm like, what is this? Who is this? I was like, oh, it's Dad. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Gabby.
Yeah.
Really. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Something that you said reminded me of something I want to ask you about, which is, for myself included, I'm experiencing what I choose to perceive, right? We're creating our own movies, right? It's one of the great analogies that you share. And we can be tuned into the fear movie, the fear and struggle channel, or we could be tuned into that positive movie, positive, perspective about it. And so we are the image makers.
That's right.
Right? So can you talk a little bit about that? Because again, we often feel that life is happening to us.
Yeah.
We're in reaction to it, but we have so much agency to be able to see the world that we want to see.
We are co-creating our reality at all times. When we wake up in the morning, we're going and setting the projector screen for the day ahead. We are the way we start our days, the thoughts that we repeat, the beliefs that we carry are creating our reality. It does not mean that things outside of us don't happen. We're living amongst others. So shit's going to hit the fan, right? There's going to be fires in the streets. There's going to be protests. There's going to be war. There's going to be things. But on a day-to-day basis, what is the projector screen that we are turning on? What is the reel we are playing? And that begins with one, what is our spiritual foundation and condition in our personal development practice so that we can heal the wounded beliefs, because those old beliefs are going to stay with us until we stick up for them, until we show up for them, right? It's going to keep coming up until we show up for it. But also, what are the day-to-day thought patterns that are just beginning to set us off from the start? And I know that you're a man of habits and rituals. And so one of my greatest morning habits is I wake up in the morning and I ask myself 4 questions. And this is what I call the daily design method. And so I ask myself, who do I want to be today? How do I want to feel today? What do I want to give today? And what do I want to receive today? Every morning. Doesn't matter how early my kid woke me up. It doesn't matter what I have to do later. Before I even wake up or put my glasses on or whatever I have to do to get out of bed, I ask myself those 4 questions. Who do I want to be today? What do I want to feel today? Or how do I want to feel today? What do I want to give today? And what do I want to receive today?
Why are questions so powerful?
Well, it's allowing us to actually choose, right? So you were saying we have the choice in the moment to create our reality the way that we want to. And so making choice is the operative word. We can wake up and choose to turn over to the phone, look at the news, look at the to-do list. We can look at the dramas. We can look at the things that bring us lots of stress. We can choose to start our day with an attitude of what are you going to do for me? Or, walk down to our partner and say the toilet's broken or this or that. Or we can choose to begin our day with thoughts of what is the intention I want to create in this day. And it's a prayer to the universe. Today, when I woke up this morning, I said, who do I want to be today? I said, I want to be a speaker, and I want to be a healer. I want to offer wisdom. Yeah. What do I want? How do I want to feel today? I said, I want to feel energized. As you saw when I walked in, I was like really tired. And, even if that means like just tuning in and doing a meditation in the Uber on the way over here, I want to feel energized. What do I want to give today? I want to give wisdom. What do I want to receive today? I want to receive energy. I want to receive vibes. So that was really clear for me this morning. And I'm already feeling it. It's here. I feel so much energy with you. I barely slept. I've been on the road. I've been banging it out. And here I am with you. And I feel so much energy. So I'm creating that reality.
Yeah. What if we're like, I don't want to take responsibility for that?
How's that working out for you? That's up to you. This is the thing. It's all your choice. It's all your choice. Your happiness is your choice that you make. The things that happen outside of you, you cannot control. But what happens on the inside is what you can control. And it's not that you can control your experiences, but you can control your experience of your experiences. That's big. How are you going to perceive this situation? And it's a reprogramming and a training of yourself. And we're going to fall back all day. I was falling back today on something and it's, then picked it back up in the moment, right? It's like I was getting annoyed about something I used to get annoyed about when I was talking to one of my VPs that works with me, who's been with me for 12 years, and something was going on. I was like in my head, like controlling, the controller was there. And then in the moment I pivoted. I was like, she is so in the devotion. I just started hearing this in my head. She is so in the devotion of your work. I almost started like visually like turning the story around. And I was in this place of like, oh my God, this is happening too fast and we're rushing. And then all of a sudden I was like, she is deeply in the devotion of your work. Everything she does is in the devotion of bringing this forth. This is the most important divine relationship of your life. Just move into gratitude. And instantly I was like, thank you so much for your hard work. Instead of being like, wait, but why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? I just shifted my consciousness in that moment. And the more we practice these things, Shawn, you're in the gym, you're training, right? I'm training, I'm in the gym too, but I'm training mentally every single day, harder than anybody that's in that gym.
I love that analogy because truly, it's sometimes going against resistance. It's how we get stronger.
Exactly.
Right. And so having that spiritual gym, having that mental gym, and the physical as well, of course, and training ourselves because stuff's going to happen.
Yes, it is.
And so in the physical aspect, we're going to come up against, resistances sometimes that we can't necessarily handle.
Yes.
We got to get stronger, or we might have an injury or a setback or something kind of throws off our program. But the most important thing is getting back to work.
Let me give you an example of that. Okay. So now for decades, I've been sober. I've been spiritually fit. I have been practicing what I preach. I've been writing about what I've learned. I've been deeply in therapeutic processes, and I've been healing myself tremendously. And in 2020, I did a year of IVF to try to have a second pregnancy. And if anyone knows about fertility treatment, it's a big, big undertaking for a woman. And I did 9 rounds, which is like unheard of. It's unheard of. I mean, the amount of weight gain and hormones and every round I wasn't getting an embryo. And I was barely getting any eggs, but I wasn't even getting any embryos, and any embryo I would get wouldn't be healthy. It was just, actually, no, I didn't get any embryos. I was just getting eggs, and they were not good enough. And finally, after the 9th round, I got 1 embryo, and I waited for the results because you test the embryo to see if it's healthy. And I called up the woman who's looking at the embryo, and I was like, can you pray on my embryo for me? And the embryo turned out to be a healthy boy. And I was like, I got my 1. And my husband and I, our mantra was, all you need is 1. All you need is 1. And I remember being in the transfer where they transfer the embryo, and the embryologist came in and she's like, this is so unprofessional, but I've read your books and I just want you to know, as soon as you told me to pray over the embryo, I knew it was you. And she was like, and then I carried this baby for 5.5 months at the almost over 20-week scan. And I was still pregnant, and the doctors came in and they just kept saying, they're very concerned, and they kept saying, well, what's going on, and everything okay? And do you have any other embryos? And my husband's like, no, all you need is one. All you need is one. And that day we found out that our son, Owen, was at almost 6 months, no longer going to survive. He wasn't going to withstand this life because he wasn't, actually truly never even found out exactly what was wrong, but he wasn't growing. And I remember sitting in that room and just hearing my husband's voice saying, all you need is one, and the heartache of that. And then I had to go through the process of having an abortion because he was still alive. It was horrific. And my girlfriends were looking at me the days after, and they were looking at me and they were like, why aren't you losing it? And, I knew I had a protector that was really holding it together. And I looked at them and I said, listen, I'm going to lose it when I can lose it. I'm going to use my tools while I can. I'm also going to let this dissociation be a part of my protection right now. But this is what I've been training for. Literally, this is what I've been training for. It's this type of moment in life that is what I've been counseling women on for decades. It's what I've literally been in the spiritual gym, getting mentally and spiritually fit to have the faith that even though this horrific moment is happening in my life, that there's a bigger reason. Okay, fast forward a few years now, Shawn, I can sit with you right now with my 7-year-old son, Ollie, my one child, and I can tell you all you need is one. All I needed was one. My one son that I already had, Oliver. And I had to extend this journey to all those lengths to actually accept and know that all Gabby needs in this big life that I've got going, and this travel that I'm doing, and this mission that I'm on is one child. And so we might think we need something, and sometimes we'll exhaust every opportunity to get that thing. But the thing we really need is revealed to us. And so that faith is what I was training for. And that faith is what carried me through that journey. It was like a blanket that held me in that extreme trauma. That faith was there for me. So that's what we have to train for.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. With the training, at some point, of course, we're going to fail. We're going to have those times where we can't remember, we forget about the practice, or we go astray, or, something comes up and we don't react the way that we want to. Can you talk a little bit about getting back on the horse, AKA, like, what do you do when you fail?
I'm going to curse right now. You're going to fuck this up every day. You're going to be on your training path, and then you're going to act out, or you're going to get activated, or you're going to get triggered, or you're going to be like, what came over me? It's not about how perfectly spiritually fit you are. It's how quickly you come back. It's about your comeback rate. And I know you would say the same thing about physical fitness. You're going to eat that chicken and waffles like you did on your birthday, but then later the next day, you're going to be drinking your element and get back in the gym and getting your electrolytes and doing whatever you got to do to just reset. It's how quickly do you come back? We can't hold ourselves to these standards of perfection.
Yeah. It doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist.
But I think that's like one of those extremes in that spiritual training that we might get a message from other teachers that is the goal, is this perfection.
Yeah, good luck with that.
That's why, of course, I could relate to you so much. And instantly when we met, like, it's just like, oh, it's my sister.
We went
here.
Deep fast. We were like right in Mexico in the car. We were going right into it.
Yeah, yeah. And I appreciate you for that, because you're a voice that we need right now.
Yeah.
You're really helping to take these kind of elevated principles and bring some earth to it, some groundedness to it, and practicality. And again, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. Thank you 1,000 times. Now, I want to circle back, because I don't feel like I've got like a comprehensive understanding of this that can be delivered to everybody. But when you have your morning ritual where you're asking those questions, there's something very, very powerful about being able to question ourselves, to pose these questions to ourselves. Can you talk a little bit more about why, like the power of questions? Like, why is that something that you talk about, that you use yourself, that you coach people to do?
We are often telling ourselves what to do why we're wrong, what we did wrong, why we should do it differently. What is that? We are so mean to ourselves. If your child, one of your children came to you and said, Dad, I'm having a hard time. I did this thing. I'm not happy about it. I feel ashamed. What would you do? You would put your hand on their back. You'd say, what do you need? You'd be compassionate. You'd be empathetic. You'd be calm. You'd connect. But the children inside of us, we treat them so horribly. We speak so unkindly to these little children, these protection mechanisms inside. How'd you do that again? Why are we back here again? You're such an idiot. We shut it down. We fight against it. This query, the inquisition, the curiosity is the most compassionate way we can treat ourselves. So instead of saying the what did you do, you can ask the why did this happen? Why did you need to do that? Why do you feel that way? That why is the curiosity question. It's the compassionate response. Yeah. And so it's really about treating ourselves like little children and recognizing that we have an internal self inside that's like an internal parent that's always available through curiosity and compassion to tease out the why and to help. That's why self-help. That self is there to help in any given moment.
Yeah.
We have to get into the practice of it.
That was the specific thing that I wrote down and circled like 27 times while I was sitting here in that 4-step process with self-help. What do you need?
Yes.
Asking yourself and that part of you, what do you need? Mm-hmm. And having the patience and the awareness and the compassion to just ask, because my tendency would be to just push through, just keep pushing, keep going. You got to just keep going. Mm-hmm. And just to check in and just ask, what do you need? Yeah. What do you need right now?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're in the gym and you're hurting, your knee's hurting, most people, I'd imagine not you, but you wouldn't push over it, right? You're going to be like, whoa, I want to protect that knee. I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to put some ice on it. You're going to check in. We don't do that with our emotional well-being.
So true. So true. So for you right now, what is your big mission right now where you are? Again, like you said, 7 years ago, Gabby, and our connection would have been different. It would have been awesome.
Very different. It would have been a beautiful mission, and it's been pretty consistent, but I think it's more grounded now.
Yeah.
And it's more fully integrated and aligned right now. And my mission is very clear. And you said it out loud, which is to democratize and demystify the divine, to help people have faith in this incredibly shaky time right now. I'm writing a new book. I believe this, I'll share the working title here for the first time. I think it's called Unshakable Light is what I want the book to be called. And it's about living with a unshakable knowing that we are divinely guided. It's going to be required. We haven't even seen a fraction of what's coming. And I don't want to be terrifying people, but we got to wake up. We got to wake up to what is happening around us with the division, with the environment, with AI, with everything that's happening in the world. So we have to be spiritually fit. And so it is my absolute mission and commitment to the world at this time to be a translator for the divine and to make it accessible and to make people feel empowered that they can have a faith of their own understanding so that they can feel safer inside. That's it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. One of the things from that talk that I mentioned that I did in Atlanta was, a call to action for everybody that AI is here.
It's here.
We're just seeing the the preschool of it, and it's gonna get to graduate school within a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I was advocating for is for us to be more human than we've ever been before.
Yes,
it is required right now. It is, and this is something that there's no stopping it. Mm-hmm. In some ways, it's kind of a race to the bottom with some of these companies that are, investing in this. But there's going to be opportunity. And I think the opportunity is to direct ourselves back to us again.
It's exactly right. Yeah. It's exactly right. Get offline. Get outside. I picked up tennis this summer like hardcore, like 2 times a week with the pro. And it's the greatest gift I give myself because I'm just outside for an extra 2 hours a day. Just be outside, get off your phone, get outdoors, use your hands, get creative. Also learn AI, to be really honest, learn AI. It's the folks that know AI that will still have jobs. So learn AI, which is just a warning, right? I'm deep in it. I enjoy it. I'm using it for the right purposes. I think you have to lean into it, but get outside.
Just with all this stuff, there's a right use or a righteous use of this technology.
It's here. What are we going to do with it? What's the purpose, right? So can we make our clones? Yes, I've done it. I'm sure you're on the path, right? I've got the Gabby AI here. She's going to be right in my app. But why? Okay, what's the purpose? I'm leaning in. They need my help. They can talk to me at 3 o'clock in the morning. They can talk to Gabby AI whenever they need her in my app. That is leaning into it. I'm not going to say, oh no, I'm never going to touch that. I'm going to say, okay, it's here. I got to use it. Let me use it to my advantage to really help people. Is that the dream scenario? Maybe not, but maybe it's going to be really, really impactful for people that were like, I needed that moment. And I've been using it. It's amazing. I'm in this alpha test of this clone. And it's like, I'm like, go Gabby, nice answer. Because she's been fed 20 years of books and lectures and podcasts and endless content. So she's really speaking my truth. And listen, I think spirit is in all of it. So you have to trust that.
Where can people pick up your books and also this incredible innovation that you have? Where can people get access?
I think this is the place to go. So my app is called the Gabby Coaching App. And so you can get it in the App Store. You can go to deargabby.com/app. And that is the best place to get you can get self-help check-ins from the books. You can get manifesting challenges and trust the universe challenge and hundreds of meditations and daily practices. But the biggest thing that's going to be entering this app in the next month is Gabby AI. And so you're going to open the app and you can just talk to Gabby AI and I can coach you and I can help you get grounded and I can help you connect to your spiritual relationship. And so my AI Gabby AI, she can do it. But I also can do it through the transmission of all the work that's in there. And so I think that would be the best first step is for somebody to go try that out. Or if they're thinking, I want to really feel that connection that we are talking about today, I have a challenge called Trust the Universe. And that is the Trust the Universe challenge. It's really deep and it's really effective for what we've been talking about today. And of course, my books are on Amazon or whatever,
Yeah.
If you feel called, you'll feel called.
Final question. Gabby Bernstein, what is the model that you're here to create for the world with the way that you live your life personally?
I am living my life with intention and alignment. And in doing so, I hope to teach that through my presence.
I feel it. This
Right
room
back
is
at you.
full.
There's a lot going on in this room. There's a lot of energy. Dad's in here, the whole thing.
Gabby, this has been a blessing for me.
Me too.
I appreciate you so much for coming by to hang out with us.
One of my favorite interviews, Shawn.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
I have a lot
it
of
was
them.
destined.
This was one of my favorites.
It was destined.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Hey, if you like this video, make sure to check out this video right here.
We don't ask why and who did what. We ask how can we serve? And everybody can't do everything, but everybody can do something.